Of luck. Now, singer Katie Melua is making a return to the pop charts with a brand new album. Normally not one to divulge information about her relationship status, in an interview with the Telegraph newspaper today, she's admitted that she is single. She said, "First of all, I can tell you I'm single, which is not lovely, but it is what it is." Then she adds, "It doesn't have to be the thing that defines you." So do we agree? And to what extent do you think that your relationship status defines you, whether you're single, married or other?
Well, I think, really, it's just because you don't wear a ring. I mean, I've been both. I've been married. I liked being married. And I think it's other people's perceptions of you and what your status is and not yourself. You know, yes, I'm single. I'm not married anymore. I'm happy. It's other people that go, "Oh, I can't believe you're still single." I'd like to meet my soulmate. Of course I would. I'm full of love, full of affection. But I am happy at the moment.
Are you?
Yes.
Are
you? It's going to be a long show.
I'm not sure.
And what it is, you know, I mean, I don't notice it. When we came to see Michael Bublé the other day,
yeah,
there was you and Steve and Jane and Ed and Linda
and Mr. Spain.
And Mr. Spain. And I brought my friend Karen, and she said to me, "Does it make you feel a bit..." Well, what does? Well, that they've all got their partners and you brought me. I thought, well, I didn't actually notice until you said. And I didn't actually notice. It was fine. I was bringing my mate with me, but it's everybody else's perception.
Do you think you would feel that way if you had always been single? I mean, the fact that you've been married and now you're divorced, you can say that you've tried that and it didn't work. Do you think that makes it easier to be single than someone who's maybe never been married?
I think it does make it easier to be single because you know what you don't want. And, you know, and as much as I get told off by saying, you know, I'd like this and I'd like that and I'd like that, that is, for me, that is what that's the way to go, because I know what I don't want. Because when you've had bad relationships and bad relationships after my marriage as well, you know, so it's fine. But I would rather, I think, I'd rather be single than happy than have a relationship just for the hell of it, so I'm not single.
Absolutely.
That makes me really unhappy, and most importantly, my son.
Yeah.
So,
is your list getting smaller now that you're getting older? She started it, ladies and gentlemen.
What you mean? Because I'm still in my 30s, Carl.
Yeah.
I'm approaching the big 4-0. No, probably you're right. No, my list is very simple. It's respect, fun, laughter and love.
Oh, well, enjoy life on your own. Anyway...
Sherry, you're single as well. Do you have a list at all? I mean, are you happy with... I mean, actually, saying that, I'm saying that you're single. You're not divorced yet, are you? So
no,
you're still married.
Listening, and I just thought to myself, do you know what defines me is the fact that I'm married, but I haven't been married for a long time, but I'm not divorced. So I think I don't know how I'm defined. You know, when you get those forms and you have to tick, I have to tick still a married person, but I'm not married, don't want to be married, never got divorced, so I don't know how you can define me, really. And I kind of sit back and think, but why? What is it? What defines me then? I mean, when I first got married, I knew it was a fairy story and I was playing house and I wanted to be married because I wanted a ring and a white dress. Yeah. Well, of course, all those fantasies go out the window, don't they? And then you get to this point, and, you know, I haven't been with my husband since 2001. You know, and yet I haven't got a divorce. No, but I'm not absolutely sure why. Maybe I don't want to be defined as divorced.
Well, I can kind of go with you on that, because I think when I got divorced, the worst thing for me about my whole marriage breakup really was the word divorce, divorcee, divorced. And I used to sit in front of the mirror, pathetically so, and go, "Hi, I'm Colin, I'm divorced," and then break down in floods of tears, because it was just... The word divorce sounded like I was saying, "I'm Colin, I'm a failure. I failed," you know. And it is a really hard word to come to terms with.
I know what you mean.
Why should we have to tick boxes? Well, I don't
know. I don't know why. I'm not quite sure why divorce should mean that, though.
I don't think it does mean that, but I think subconsciously that's how it made me feel.
Because it made you... Also, there's that other thing, isn't it? It makes you feel a failure. I felt a failure. But why I don't get rid of it now, and it's nothing to do with the person I was with, believe me, is a bit of a strange one for me, and I'm not
Because
quite
again, that comes with a tag, doesn't it? You're divorced. Divorced. It's just a word. You had a relationship. It didn't work out.
yeah.
Shouldn't have to have a stigma.
But I don't think it worried me till we started to talk about it, and then I suddenly thought, well, I wonder if that's it then. Why don't I go and do it?
Why don't you go and do it?
But what is it then?
You
Is it
wouldn't
because
feel anything now? Surely.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
When you get divorced, when my divorce papers came through, I was in another relationship, Sherry. I was really happy. But when the divorce papers came through, I sat there and I had a few tears, and I phoned my ex-husband and said, I'm feeling really sad. I'm feeling like we failed. And I had to share that. But after all this time, surely you wouldn't feel anything.
is it because it's the end of something?
It's
Is it
finished.
recognising that something...
Oh, to be honest, once my divorce came through, I wasn't sad.
Weren't you? Oh, no, I
Not
was
once it came
devastated.
through, no, because it took so long to come through. And
Yeah.
I'd met Ray and you know, we were living together and I was really happy. So it was just like, oh, that's done now. So I wasn't... Initially, when I
think it's
first
the-
started divorce proceedings,
Yeah.
I was really
It's definitely
shocked.
the stigma, I think, for you, Sherry. You don't want to be a divorcee.
I
So
don't know
you're
what
not
it is.
doing
I just
anything
think
about
I
it.
think actually Colin's hit the nail on the head. I think there's a bit of sadness that goes with even after all this time.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bit of sadness that goes with it.
But if you don't go through that sadness, you can't move on.
No, but of course, and so that's stupid. So that's what I've got to
Great.
do.
Good. OK, it's time for today's